And the mitochondria, they usually multiply or they divide by a process called as fission. The number of mitochondria per cell varies depending on the physiological activity of that particular cell. In a compartment that is there, it is filled with a dense homogeneous substance, and that homogeneous substance is called as a matrix. Hello everyone, a warm welcome to today's session on first PUC Biology. I'm Dr. Divya, Biology faculty, Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. So in this session, let us learn about the powerhouse of the cell, that is mitochondria. So we'll learn about the structure and functions of mitochondria and then move on to learning some of the important MCQs under this particular topic. So mitochondria. They are one of the important cell organelles, be it the plant and the animal cell, especially in eukaryotes, because whatever activities, metabolic activities or physiological activities has to occur in the body that needs energy, and that energy is provided by the mitochondria. Be it the plant or the animal cell or each of the cells in a body, the number of mitochondria in it tends to vary depending on how much energy is needed for that particular organ or that particular region of the body to perform a particular function. So therefore, the number of mitochondria per cell varies depending on the physiological activity of that particular cell. Say for example, some of the cells or some of the tissues may have to perform large amount of physiological activity that might need large amount of energy. So therefore, there more amount of mitochondria will be present in that cells, and those which needs lesser amount of energy to perform a particular activity will require lesser amount of mitochondria. So they tend to vary from cell to cell. And the shape and size of the mitochondria also tends to vary. They can be sausage shape or they can be in the form of cylindrical shape. But mostly mitochondria are in the form of a sausage shape itself. And their diameter is about 0.2 to 1 micrometer. That is, overall they are about 0.2 to 1 micrometer. That is 0.2 to 1, and they have a length of about 1 to 4 micrometer. That is, their overall length is about 1 to 4 micrometer. So this is the diameter and the length of the mitochondria. And each mitochondria that is there, it is a double membrane, wherein it has an outer membrane and an inner membrane. So therefore, it is a double membrane because it has an outer covering and an inner covering. And the outer membrane and the inner membrane, between the outer membrane and the inner membrane, there is an intermembrane space that is called, and that space is nothing but called as lumen, which is a fluid-filled cavity. So between, that is, with the outer membrane and the inner membrane dividing its lumen distinctly into two aqueous compartments, that is the outer compartment and the inner compartment. So outer compartment because the inner membrane tends to fold. So that is also one of the reasons. Next, the inner compartment that is there, it is filled with a dense homogeneous substance. And that homogeneous substance is called as a matrix. Like how the plant cell and the animal cell is filled with a matrix, that is fluid substance called as cytoplasm. Same way, mitochondria has its own fluid filled substance, and that substance is called as a matrix. So matrix for mitochondria, remember. For chloroplast, it is called as stroma. So that is why I'm stressing on this. So it is called as matrix. So what is a matrix? It is nothing but whatever fluid filled substance is there inside the mitochondria or the compartment of the mitochondria, we call it as the matrix. Moving further, the outer membrane that is there, it is continuous throughout the mitochondria because there is no breakages or there is no foldings with the outer membrane. So therefore, it acts as a protective shield continuously throughout the mitochondria, whereas the inner membrane that is there, it forms a number of infoldings, that is towards the matrix. They have a number of infoldings, and that foldings is called as crista. Now, there is a difference between crista and cisternae. So, crista are the foldings of the inner membrane of mitochondria. Cisternae is the foldings that are present in the Golgi body. So, don't get confused with the two. Okay. So, this is cristae. What are cristae? They are the infoldings of the inner membrane of the mitochondria towards the matrix. And the crista, they actually increase the surface area because of this folding. If you can see here, This is the outer membrane. So it's already marked here. So this is the outer membrane. Then we have inner to that, this particular region that is there. It's the inner membrane. And the inner membrane, as you can see, it has a number of foldings. And because of those foldings, the surface area, what are the foldings called? They're called as cristae. And because of these foldings, the surface area of the mitochondria tends to increase. And the two membranes have their own specific enzymes which are associated with the mitochondria function. That is, the main function of the mitochondria is to generate energy in the form of ATPs, that is adenosine triphosphate. So for that generation of energy, a lot of cycles of physiological or biochemical cycles take place. And for that, a lot of enzymes are needed, and that is synthesized by this particular membrane, that is the outer membrane and the inner membrane. About that, you will study in detail when we go in for studying about the respiration in plants, like how in the mitochondria the ATPs are synthesized and all that. So we have there, that is the electron transport system, which occurs in the middle that is membrane, and in the inner membrane we have the Krebs cycle that is going on. So all that we will study in that particular chapter. So moving further, the mitochondria, the functions of the mitochondria, they are the main sites for aerobic respiration, be it the plants and the animals. Cellular respiration, whatever respiration process occurs in the cell, that is controlled by the mitochondria. So therefore, they are the main, I'm talking about not the normal breathing, I'm talking about the respiration occurring in each cell, because there also respiration is needed for the production or synthesis of ATP. So that is why. So they are the sites for aerobic respiration, and they produce cellular energy in the form of ATP, that is adenosine triphosphate. And that is why they are also called as the powerhouse of the cell, meaning whatever activities has to be performed by the other organelles or the cell on the whole, that requires a lot of energy, and that energy is got by the mitochondria. And the matrix of the mitochondria, they have circular DNA, and they have few RNA molecules. We have heard of the mitochondrial RNA, which is very, very important during the process of DNA replication and all that. So for that it is important. And they have ribosomes. The ribosome is made up of a 70S subunit, and the components required for the synthesis of proteins are also present there. So synthesis of proteins, because they have their mRNA, that mRNA needs to synthesize proteins, and the components needed for that are present in the mitochondrial matrix as well. And the mitochondria, they usually multiply or they divide by a process called as fission. Fission means they break into two. So that is how they divide. So this is about the mitochondria, their structure and the functions. Now let's move on to learning about some of the MCQs that can be framed for this particular topic. So first question, mitochondria is filled with a dense homogeneous substance called, is it called stroma, matrix, cytoplasm or protoplasm? Is it called stroma? Stroma is the dense substance that is present in chloroplast. Okay, so it is chloroplast. But what is my question here? I have asked for the dense homogeneous substance present in mitochondria. So the right answer here is matrix. It's called matrix. Cytoplasm, it is the fluid matrix present in the cells, that is the plant and the animal cell. Protoplasm is the cytoplasmic membrane or the cytoplasmic content along with the cytoplasm. We call it as the protoplasm. So therefore the right answer for this question is B, matrix. Next, the foldings of mitochondrial inner membrane is called, is it called cristae, is it called cisternae, reticulum or network? Cristae is the right option here, because cisternae we call it in Golgi bodies. The foldings or the disc-like structures that are present in the Golgi bodies, we call it as cisternae. And reticulum, it is the network that is present in the endoplasmic reticulum. So we call it as reticulum. So here the right answer for this question is cristae. So next question, which organelle is responsible for ATP production? Is it endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi bodies, ribosomes or mitochondria? So it's not endoplasmic reticulum. It's because endoplasmic reticulum is a network made up of smooth endoplasmic reticulum and rough endoplasmic reticulum, and the function of the rough endoplasmic reticulum is to produce proteins because it has ribosomes on it. Whereas Golgi bodies, they have a trans phase and a cis phase, wherein the main function is to convert lipids and proteins into glycolipids and glycoproteins. Ribosome's function is to produce proteins. What is my question here? Which organelle is responsible for ATP production? So ATP production is by mitochondria. So the right answer here is mitochondria, and that is why it is called as the powerhouse of the cell. Next, dash are the powerhouse of the cell. As I told you, it is mitochondria, because nucleus is called as the basic unit of a cell. Chloroplast, it is nothing but the photosynthesizing unit of a cell. Ribosomes is the structure for protein synthesis. It has nothing to do with the production of energy. Mitochondria is the right answer here. Next question. Dash are the sites of aerobic respiration. Chloroplast, mitochondria, nucleus, none of the above. So aerobic respiration or cellular respiration, which is aerobic, occurs in the mitochondria of the cell, wherein lots of ATP gets produced there. So therefore, mitochondria is the right answer here. Next question. The ribosomes of mitochondria consists of dash subunit. So is it 50, 60, 80 or 70? It is 70 as subunit. So the ribosomes present in the mitochondria is 70 as subunit. The ribosomes that are present freely in the cytoplasm. So this is ribosomes. In cytoplasm, it is 80 as subunit. In mitochondria, it is 70 as subunit. Not just in mitochondria, in chloroplast or chlorophyll, that is the chlorophyll pigment which is present, that is in chloroplast. So chloroplast is also 70S. So chloroplast and mitochondria have 70S ribosomes. ATS is present in, or ATS is the subunit of ribosome that is present in the cytoplasm of the cell. So therefore here the right answer here is 70S. Next question. Which of this is not a component of mitochondrial matrix? Circular DNA, grana, RNA molecules, 70S ribosomes. So circular DNA, RNA molecules and 70S ribosomes are present in the matrix or homogeneous fluid of the mitochondria. But grana, they are present in chloroplast. And they are nothing but the stacks of thylakoids. So that is nothing but grana. So therefore grana is present in chloroplast. So because it is present in chloroplast and not mitochondria, this is the right answer for the question, because the question is which of this is not a component of mitochondria. So therefore grana is not a component. Next question. Division of mitochondria occurs by dash. Is it fusion? Fusion means the joining of two things. We call it as fusion. So if you're joining something, how can division occur there? So that option can be eliminated. Fragmentation. Fragmentation, again, you can have a confusion between fragmentation and fission because it is breaking something. Fragmentation and fission has two different meanings. Fragmentation also means breaking, but fragmentation means wherever it breaks, that small bits generates into a new thing. But in this case, that doesn't happen in mitochondria, so this option is wrong. Budding. Budding means on the mitochondria, again small bud will form, small mitochondria will form, which will detach from it and then develop into a new organism. No, budding doesn't occur in mitochondria. Of course, one will get doubled, but here budding is not the answer. It is fission. Fission means breaking. The mitochondria, one mitochondria will just split into two. That is what happens here. So the right answer here is fission. Next question. Matrix is found in inner compartment of mitochondria. So what is this matrix? They are a fluid homogeneous mass substance, right? So what is it? Is it present in the inner compartment of mitochondria? Is it present in the outer compartment of mitochondria? Is it present in the intermembrane of mitochondria? Or is it present in both A and B? It is present in the inner compartment of mitochondria. So inner compartment of mitochondria is, we got to know that the mitochondria is made up of two layers, that is the outer layer and the inner layer, wherein the inner layer tends to form foldings, and because of the foldings, it looks like two compartments. So therefore, whatever granular substance is there or homogeneous mixture is there, it is present in the inner compartment of the mitochondria. So therefore, option A is the right answer here. Next question. Which of these statements is not true to mitochondria? Read the question properly. Not true to mitochondria. Number of mitochondria per cell varies. Yes, the number of mitochondria per cell varies depending on the amount of energy is needed by that cell to perform a physiological function. So therefore, this option is not suited here. Mitochondria has two aqueous compartments. Yes, because of the foldings and because of the two membrane, they have an inner and an outer compartment. So therefore, this option is not correct for this question. Cristae increases surface area of mitochondrial matrix. Yes, cristae are nothing but the foldings of the inner membrane of mitochondria. Because of the foldings, the surface area of the matrix tends to increase. So this option is not suited here. Mitochondria is double-stranded DNA. No, mitochondria doesn't have a double-stranded DNA. Mitochondria has a single-stranded circular DNA. So it has a single-stranded circular DNA. Double-stranded means it will be like this, and always they will be in a helical form. So this is a single-stranded circular DNA they have. So therefore, option D is not true regarding mitochondria. So therefore, option D is not true regarding mitochondria. So this was about the session wherein we learned about the organelle mitochondria, its structure and function, and also got to know some of the important MCQs that can be framed from this particular topic. So I hope you understood the session well. So we shall meet again in the coming session discussing a new topic under this chapter and the MCQs regarding it. So see you in the next session. Thank you.